Welcome back to Star Trek Online, everybody. I am your host, the Housecoat Gamer. Today we are taking a look at the Miranda-Class. The much derided, much mocked Miranda-Class. Everyone calls this ship crap. Not without good reason. After all, it tended to explode a great deal in DS9. However, let's be blunt. All of these ships are at least a century old. The ships that exploded in DS9? The lowest registry code I could find was in the 9,000 range. And that had to be early 24th century. You know, during Starfleet's great expansion. So yeah, old ships, old technology, hastily thrown together and probably given Montgomery Scott's famous automation system so they could run with a skeleton crew of 4 or more, 4 to 10, so they could just serve as cannon fodder. Now, if these things gotten any upgrades, they'd probably be equal to a Jem'Hadar attack ship, but we're not going to talk about that, are we? No, we are here to review the ships. The Tier 1 is garbage. Let's be honest. But we're not here to talk about the Tier 1. In fact, I'm avoiding any tier that isn't 5 or 6. Why 5 or 6? Well, no one's going to be flying any Tier 1, 2, 3, or 4 ships. 5s, you might not have a choice if you're new. And 6, I think everybody at least has one by now. Let's start with the Miranda. This thing used to look a lot different. It had 2 phaser arrays on the saucer section, a very odd deflector dish. Hold on a moment. Roll bar, roll bar, roll bar. Miranda Beta. Kind of like this, where it had a deflector dish. The beta version includes that. Of course, everyone that I know of considers this little area under the saucer section to be the deflector dish. See that little light near the registry code? That's the ship's deflector. It doesn't need to be big. There are multiple skins for this ship. The Centaur, which received a very nice redo. Let's be honest, this looks a lot better than the original. In fact, if I didn't know any better, I was manipulating the physical model. What is it with people wanting to put holes in things? One, it makes things more complicated to produce. You gotta build around the hole. That's my problem with all of STD's designs. A lot of them have holes instead of a solid saucer. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. I hate STD. Sue me. This is the Reliant. The Tier 6 version. And one I was looking forward to for a very long time. Because, 1, it's a Tier 6 version of the ship that I'm somewhat fond of because of, wait for it, Khan! What can I say? It's the Reliant. And finally, we have the Saratoga subtype, which ingloriously died at Wolf 359 during Emissary. A lot of people consider Sisko a badass for serving on one of these ships and surviving. Yeah, no. A lot of people have served on Miranda-Class starships and survived, so there goes that thought. But this isn't just any Miranda that I'm reviewing. I know what you're thinking. Wait, this is weird. What's going on? It's quite simple. This is the Fleet Miranda. I will see you outside. Told you I'd see you outside. The magic of editing. Anyway, this is the fleet version of the light cruiser. The fleet advanced light cruiser, you may say. Now, of course, this one isn't fully outfitted with the best equipment. To be perfectly honest, this ship is on my main, whose equipment I have had to scavenge and transfer to my other tunes for, well, because this one isn't useful in the YouTube vids. So, yeah, this is my main. You're not going to be seeing it all that much. The normal version, the standard Tier 6, has 3 tactical consoles, 3 science consoles, and 4 engineering. It's a cruiser. They're always engineering biased. The advanced light cruiser has a 4th tactical console because, well, let's be honest. This thing ripped the crap out of the Enterprise, a Constitution-class heavy cruiser. And it was and due to the fact that it has somewhat more internal space than a Connie, even though most of that space is taken up by shuttle bays. Let's be honest, the saucer of a Miranda isn't all that bigger than a Connie. It had a little bit more room to grow. Enough to become cannon fodder during the Dominion War. This is a very capable ship, and unfortunately, it doesn't mount cannons like the Tier 1 variant. I'd show this thing in combat, but again, this is my main. And you've probably seen me use my Miranda more than once in my other series. And this one's probably not going to see combat anytime soon, at least not until one of my Federation tunes is done the story. Well, has completed every mission in the thing. But anyway, I would recommend you get your hands on this ship. It's kind of like the unholy child of a escort and a cruiser. It has the agility to be a, well, you can mount 4 beam banks to it and unleash hell. Fleet version is the best, obviously. Housecoat Gaming signing off.